What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back to Shop Talk here at 31 Records. This is my record store in Houston. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate it. The music that's in the background today is going to be this Bullshit Detector CD. This is Bullshit Detector Chapter 1, 2019 through 2024 on 31 Records, my label. So if you want to check it out, they're $12 on Bandcamp. Check it out if you want to. There's a link in the description. If you want to check out my Patreon or anything like that, all that stuff's linked in the description as well. There's many ways to support or shop through stuff. I added some things to Discogs today, but if you want to. Otherwise, just thanks for hanging out, being on the video. I appreciate this, dude. Please give us a like and subscribe if you haven't done so. Even if you hate me and love black metal, it's okay. We can still be friends. Dude, these black metal kids are funny, bro. They're like, "You're old." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." Like, all right, so this is gonna be a different kind of video. We're gonna talk about, don't ever forget where you came from. I'm gonna talk about like my very first how do I say this? I'm gonna talk about how I got here. My hats do not like to stay on. You notice that? I put it on like straight, and then I move my head one time, and it's like, but it's because I'm old and weird shaped. But I was in my closet yesterday hiding from the black metal kids, and I was actually packing some stuff to ship out, and I came across something recently. It was the very first dollar bill that I ever made. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to like tell you how I got here. Like, how did I get to where I have a record store, a little label, and a YouTube channel? Because a lot of people ask me for advice. They ask me like, should I open a record store? Should I do a label? Like a label, yeah, if you can do it, do it. A record store, dude, it is hard work. It's very expensive, and you don't make a lot of money, man. I don't make like a lot of money. I do okay, but the thing is that the trade-off is that I get to work for me. I get to wear whatever I want, talk however I want. I can do whatever I want whenever I feel like doing it. So as the bank account, allows it. But the major thing that I have that not many other people are going to have, actually that nobody will ever have the one I've got, but not many people have a wife that will let them do stuff like this. My wife is incredibly supportive of what I'm doing. She believes in me, and for that reason, I'm able to accomplish a lot. So if you don't have a partner that does that for you, it's going to be really hard to do the things that I'm doing. So if you're looking at what I'm doing and what you're wanting to emulate it or parallel me or copy me or whatever, like, I support you following your dreams. But understand that I'm in a very unique situation. I've got a very unique situation. So I'll just start like part of the way back. I could go all the way back to when I was a little kid, because this all started back in the 90s, man. I've been doing this stuff since I was little. But let's see, back in like 2017, I think it was, we had the Hurricane Harvey. So in 2016, I was working from our apartment. We had the little kids. My wife had an office job, and I would stay home with the kids because I was working all week for $400 and $500, $600 maybe, and 75-80% of it was going to daycare, and it was just not worth my 40 hours to have $200 and to have my kids in somebody else's care all day. So I stayed home, took care of the kids, and I got really good at doing FanDuel, like the daily fantasy sports thing. I like baseball a lot, and I'm really mathematical, so I was doing this stuff, and I was making pretty good money, dude. I was making like enough money to where I was selling my lineups to people, right? And I got bored, and so I got a job at Chili's part-time washing dishes, dude. Like, they offered me management. I just said no. And I just wanted to have no responsibility, $15 an hour, no responsibility, part-time. I'm good. I sold my lineups there too. I would listen to baseball games on my headphones all day while I was washing dishes and just make money, dude. I was doing the double ups. I wasn't messing with no tournament stuff. No, dude, I want like low risk, low reward, high probability of win. I want to turn $120 into 200 every single day. That's what I was doing, right? So during the day, I was hanging out with the kids all day. I would watch baseball and tinker with things, and I got into like painting stuff. I don't know. I was collecting comics and things, and I I bought some toys for my kids, and my oldest, who's turning 12 this week, he was like, dude, I don't know, 4 years old, and he came in the room one day and he said, Dad, I want a and trust me, I'll get to the point. This is how I got right here. It all will make sense soon. He said, Dad, I want a toy. Can you get me a toy? And I said, whatever you want, man, I'll get it for you. And he's like, can you do a spider bat? I want a spider bat. I was like, what's that? He's like, Spider-Man, Batman, kind of combined. And he's 4, you know? And I was like, buddy, they don't make those. That's a different world. And he's like, what? And starts getting upset. My wife is like, why don't you make him one? Kind of joking around. And I was like, so I started doing research, and I was like, oh, custom toys exist. I basically did a repaint. I bought a Batman, and I repainted it up to look like Miles Morales Spider-Man. It was awesome, but he loved it. I put some pictures on Facebook, and it got some traction, right? Meanwhile, while this is happening, Texas made FanDuel illegal. I think it was May of 2017, maybe May. Dude, I cried, dude. I was making so much money that I didn't have to have a job. I was just doing what I wanted. Well, then the job at Chili's became like necessary, and so I was looking for something to do during the day, and I was buying comic books from a place up off of Westheimer called Watchtower Records. I'm trying to do this as quick as I can. So somebody saw the custom paint job on the Batman figure, and then I did a custom paint job on the big giant Hulkbuster Iron Man. I repainted one in like pink and black. It was awesome looking, right? And I was posting these pictures up, and then I did a custom the Tick out of a Drax, like a early 2000s Drax toy. I sculpted his chin and everything, right? I did all this stuff just kind of having fun. It was a hobby. When I posted the Tick, it got a lot of attention, and some guy hit me up and bought it from me for like $250. He's like, hey, can you make me 2 more figures? And I was like, sure. And I work like that. I redline, dude. If I don't have pressure, I don't work well. That's why I do so much. I overload my plate, and then I operate well. If I don't have much to do, I won't do shit. I have really bad ADHD, man. So that's why I have so many irons in the fire right now. I've got Label, the channel, the shop, going to Vegas, hanging out with the kids, hanging out with the wife, going to do the walks and cooking dinner for everybody. I stay busy, bro. Stay busy, dude. This is that drug addict mentality, right? Dude, hallelujah for sobriety. So, long story short, as I make these 2 figures for this guy, he buys them. All 3 of my Tick figures that I made for him end up in a Tick museum up in the East Coast somewhere. I don't know. It's been years, right? But he spent almost $1,000. So I started making these toys for this guy. And then I made a custom Captain America thing. I can't remember exactly what it was when Captain America went bad. That's around the time. So if you guys can tell me when Captain America broke bad, that's when I was doing this. Because I made a Captain America with the octopus thing. I made one of those figures for this comic book shop that I was just buying stuff at, and I donated it, and we did a giveaway on their anniversary, right? So I end up start working at this comic book shop. I quit working at Chili's. I start working for the comic book guy because he knows he can trust me. He likes my style. I'm selling product. I'm moving product for him. While I'm working for him, he's telling me he doesn't want to do this no more. I start thinking like, man, I should get a loan and buy this place, right? Pipe dream. Then at the end of 2017, like the fall, whatever day Conor McGregor was fighting Floyd Mayweather, I'm watching the fight. I'm sitting in my office, got my feet up on a desk. It's storming. Little do I know, my life's fixing to change. Hurricane Harvey, dude. Water starts coming in my house. And I'm giving you guys the cliff notes of this stuff, dude. So many things happened in between all this, right? But by this time, I had set up a whole station in my room. I had a day-rise bed where I could pull stuff out. So I had a desk underneath there. I would pull it out. I had Dremels. I had airbrush. I had Citadel paints. I had 50 different paint brushes. I had drawers of just toy fodder. I would buy toys by the box, and I would just tear them apart and remake them. And I was pretty good at it. I wasn't the best, but I was pretty good at it. I should have gotten into photography with that. I would have done some cool shit. Anyways, when the flood happens, we lose everything. I lose everything. Water was up to my chest in our place, dude. We lived in an apartment upstairs there was no electricity. Water, it was flooded for a week and a half, dude. Like, it was crazy, man. Like, I mean, dude, we were on the news carrying our kids through water. Like it was so scary, dude. But we lost everything. I lost all my clothes. I lost all my documents. I lost all my work. My wife lost all her jewelry. We lost all of our clothing, our appliances, our dishware. Excuse me, like our plates, bowls, spoons, knife, cutlery, everything. Right? Kids' toys, dude. I'm like walking through the apartment. What broke me? I was fine. I was like, it sucks, but I've been in jail before. I've been in trouble before. I've lost everything before. I've sold everything for dope. Dude, I watched my kids' toys float by. There wasn't nothing I could do about it. That broke me. I was working at the comic book shop when all this went down. So, we apply for FEMA. They're like, we're going to help you. They come and they take photos and video of our place. They're like, we're going to get you 75 grand. We'll start your life over. We're like, yes, thank you. My wife's like, what do you want to do with the 75 grand? I was like, why don't we start small, get a small place. Let's start a business. I was like, why don't I buy the shop from this dude? And she's like, well, what would you want to pay for it? I was like, well, what if we could get it for 25 grand, 20 grand? You know, because I did put it this way. He's talking about, I don't want to do this anymore. I was running the shop for him, basically. I already went through and counted everything and figured out what I would pay for it. I like math anyways, and I was just in there doing inventory. So I think 17 grand was like what I thought it was worth, right? So I told her, what if I paid 20 grand for it all? Just boom, buy it all. I could do a big giant sale and dump a bunch of it, make some of the money back, and then we could start kind of fresh. But I have all of his subscribers. I'd have like a foundation to start from. And she's like, that's a great idea. So we start planning on this, right? Like, or we plan on talking to him about it. Meanwhile, we got nowhere to live. We start staying with my boss. So I'm driving to the gym, or actually I'm riding in the car with him. He's driving to the gym. We're going to go work out. I said, hey man, you hate the shop, dude. You want to sell it to me? And he's like, you serious? And I was like, yeah, man. I talked to Carissa about it. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. I was like, what do you want for it? He's like, let me think about it. I was like, all right. He goes, do you have a number in mind? I said, I've got a number in mind. And I said, why don't you just think about it? You tell me what it's worth to you, and then I'll tell you if I think it makes sense. So a day or two goes by, and I say, hey man, you ready to talk about the shop? He's like, yeah man. He's got this little piece of paper with him. He's written some stuff down. In my head, I'm thinking it's worth about 17. I'll pay 20 for it though. He'll be stoked, right? He's like, man, I think I'd like to get 70 grand out of it. I literally choked. I was like, 70 grand based on what? And he's wanting to like recoup a bunch of cost. He ran a place into the ground, and I was like, it's not worth 70 grand. And I'll go home. I talked to my wife and I said, hey, what's the most we could possibly pay for that place? And she's like, do you think you could make some money back if you did like a fire sale? And I was like, I could probably make like 7 grand if I made a fire sale. And she's like, 27 grand. And I was like, all right. So I'll go back to him and I said, hey, I can pay 25 for it. He's like, no. And I was like, all right, dude, the absolute best offer is 27,000. And he's like, no. Didn't even blink, dude. I was like, all right, no worries, man. Now I got the bug. I want to own a comic book shop. Meanwhile, we're waiting on FEMA to get back in touch with us, right? So I'm working for him. He's running his business into the ground. His business partner's pissed off. She wants him to sell it to me. He won't sell it to me. So I start looking for properties that I can go open my own place. I get all the information I need from his stuff. I'm running his store. I get all the distributors' numbers from him. He gave them to me. I didn't even have to sneak around and do it. He just gave it to me. People would come in with inventory and go, hey, can I sell this to y'all? And I would call him, hey, you want to buy this stuff? He'd be like, no. I was like, here's my phone number. I can't do it on the clock, but I'll buy it off the clock. I was just stacking inventory in his house. He knew I was doing it. It wasn't no bullshit. He knew what I was doing. He just didn't think I could do it, is what it was. So I started telling him, like about a week after this, I tell him, hey man, look, I still work for you, man, but when I get like my own spot, I can't. But if you need me to still work for you, I will. And he's like, oh, okay. I don't think he believed I was going to do it. So probably about a month goes by, and he's like, hey man, can we talk? And I was like, yeah. He's like, what's this fun stuff comics thing on Facebook that you got going on? I was like, oh, I'm starting a group because it's going to be for my shop. And he's like, what shop? And I was like, I'm going to open a store out in Katy. He's like, what? And I was like, dude, we've been talking about this shit for weeks. You didn't want to sell me your store. I'm going to open my own. And he's like, oh, I didn't think you were that serious about it. And I was like, I offered you $25,000 for your stuff. I have the money. And he's like, I already was approved for a loan. And he was like, oh. And then so he starts freaking out. We talk, we get it squared away. I'm going to stay working for him until my store is going to open. My store wasn't going to open until January 2018. So, let's see. we are basically living in his spare room for like 2 months. I finally call FEMA. I'm like, hey man, what's the deal? Here's my number that my case number. Here's my person. We filled out our stuff months ago. They gave us like $1,500 to help us get to where we could go somewhere. And I said, we got food stamps for like, I think it was $3,500. I mean, that goes fast. You got 2 kids and a dog and you don't live anywhere, dude, that shit goes by quick. And so I finally get the lady on the phone that was at my house taking the photographs. And she's like, hey, can I call you back in a minute? And I was like, yeah, sure. She calls me back the next day and she's like in tears. And I was like, what's going on? She's like, y'all no longer qualify for assistance. And I was like, what does that mean? She's like, they reran your application and you don't qualify. And I was like, well, hold on. Our neighbors were calling me and telling me, come check the mailbox. We're all getting checks. Dude, in my little quadrant of apartments, I know of 4, I think maybe 5 families that got between $67,000 and $75,000 checks. And suddenly we didn't qualify for it. I don't. How does that even make sense? I lost my job, dude. Like I wasn't bringing in any money. My wife was out of work for like a month. So they basically filter us over to SBA to get a loan. It's a racket, dude. We ended up getting an SBA loan, but we got it for $85 grand, I think. And so I took 35 or 40 of it and I started my own comic book shop. So we lost our home. We rebound, we get a place out in Katy. I opened up a shop. It's doing great. Okay, so a lot of stuff happened in between now, or this point, and what I'm fixing to tell you. But in January of 2018, I was open, and I had a Coke machine. And that dollar bill that I found was from a guy that walked in my very first day of business and was like, oh, can I buy a Coke? And I was like, yeah. It was like noon. We just opened up, and he bought a Coke. That's what he bought. My very first thing my first legitimate money that I ever made for myself was that dollar bill. I have it at my house. I'll put a picture up. I've still got the dollar bill with the little sticky note that I put on it that day. So we opened. We're doing good. I met some of my best friends in this place. And so 2 years and some change go by. February 2020, on Valentine's Day, my wife tells me that we're pregnant. This is the first kid that we tried to have. We were pregnant with Parker. I'm freaking out, dude. I'm stoked. My birthday is in March, so I'm like, let's go. We're going to have us a little, Halloween baby. Less than a month later, my birthday, March 10th. I'm stoked. Our second actual year in business, we were in the black. We were making money. Everything was great. I got a family. I got a business. Now, it's not, I say making money, we're not rolling in dough, but we're doing okay. March 18th or so, about a week or so after my birthday, I get a call from the fire marshal. And he's like, hey, you can't be open. You have, this COVID thing's happening. And so basically I went from celebrating a child coming into this world, celebrating my birthday, being in the black in my brand new business, a very first time ever owning a business, to having to close. And I don't know when I'm going to be able to open again. I call the landlords, they don't care. They're like, well, you got to pay rent. And I'm like, I can't. I can't have customers in here. And so I'm a G, bro. I was like, all right, bet. They're like, if you don't pay your rent in 90 days, we're going to lock the doors, take all your shit and sell it. And I was like, oh, I'll come up with your money, I promise. And they were like, all right, cool. And I'd never been late on my rent before, so they're like, no reason to worry. My rent was $3,700 a month. Where the fuck am I going to come up with that kind of money when I don't have customers? So that day, I walked down the road to this storage place, find out they have 2 big-ass storage rooms, bigger than my shop, dude. 2 of them next door to each other, climate controlled. So I get all the homies up. I'm like, hey, y'all got trucks? I need your help, dude. I know you guys know that I need your help, dude. All the homies show up with their trucks. We take the whole shop, pack it up, put it in storage. The whole fucking place. I left my desk. I left some fixtures on the wall. Dude, very little, man. That place was empty, bro. I've got pictures of it somewhere. Dude, I have blood, sweat, tears in that place, man. Me and my boys put the floor down in that place. I painted the walls. I paid for it all by myself. I worked it 7 days a week by myself, dude. I had one helper guy eventually that helped me out. Shout out Daryl, it's the homie. But I basically worked 80 hours a week, dude, for 2.5 years. Lost everything, man. We up in smoke. So by this time, I had started a YouTube channel. It's just called Fun Stuff Comics, and I was doing comic book reviews. So when COVID happens, we start doing movie reviews. This is how I ended up doing like little peep stuff, right? I didn't just try to do little peep shit, right? I was doing YouTube out of boredom and just talk comic books. Well, when I got rid of the store because of COVID, I had all this time. I was at home all the time, right? During the lockdown, I started doing movie reviews with my buddies. People start seeing that. They start requesting music reviews. I didn't know what a reaction channel was. I just turned into one by accident. I started doing reactions like, hey, punk rock guy checks out rap. Punk rock guy listens to Lil Peep. Punk rock guy listens to baby metal. I didn't know what else to do. I was just doing it for fun. That channel got like 28,000 subscribers, dude. Like it was a big channel, but I wasn't doing nothing. The community was ass. There's a few people that are from this channel that are from that community. They can attest to this. The community was super, super toxic, man. People were shitty. I didn't like the music much anyways. I'm a punk rock guy, dude. I like punk rock. And so, you know, again, fast forward a long time, dude. In 2023, I got my channel. It's doing okay. I got 27,000 subscribers. But I'm not happy. I'm honestly, I'm miserable. And I had sold my comic book collection, which was a lot. We made some money. So I was living on that basically, right? But I was like, I got to start figuring out something else to do. I had opened up this little shop in here with all the extra shit I had. It was just kind of like a weekend thing. I was never planning on staying here, right? And so, in April 2023, I reached out to Rob from the Punk Odds. I just found his channel. I watched a few videos. I liked what he was doing, but I had way more subscribers than him. So I was like, hey, man, you want to do a collab and talk some punk rock shit? And he's like, sure. And we did one video together. And I was like, I don't want to do my channel anymore. I have to start a new channel. And he was like, dude, seriously? I was like, I can't do that shit no more, man. I had too much fun with this guy. So we did a couple more videos, and boom, April 27th, 2023, I started the Punk Rock Review. We took off, right? So while I'm doing that channel, I'm on TikTok trying to do TikTok too. I had one video that went viral. It was like almost 4 million views. All right. I had a public beef with Corey Feldman. Okay. I'll tell you guys that story another time. The Corey Feldman story is coming. Okay. So on TikTok, I hear a song called Spooky Bitches. It's by a guy named TJ Trainwreck. I hit TJ up. Turns out he's like an old hardcore kid. We got a lot of mutual friends, right? We start talking, whatever, and he does my video with me. We just hang out. He's a cool dude, man. I fucking love TJ, man. And I was like, yo, where's your merch? I want to buy some. He's like, I don't have none. And I was like, hey, you want me to put out a tape for you? And he was like, yeah, sure. I started 31 Records, dude. I should put out a tape for the homie. That's all I did. And then that turned into like the Poppers and God, what was that band from Washington? What was the other band? The band that broke up. But that I learned a lot the first couple of years, or the first year doing the let's see, what was that fucking band called? Hold on, let me find it real fast. What was it freaking called? Do I have any in here? I can't remember, man. They're was it Contact? They might have been Contact. Anyways, they're from Washington. They're shitty dudes, man. They're a bunch of liars and fucking junkies. They did me fucking super dirty. Anyways, so I started this little label up. I had no idea it was going to be anything. You know, I got 16, 17 releases now. Bullshit Detector, I've done 4 things for them, dude. They're like some of my best friends in the world. Like, I love what I do, but like, so I just started a channel. And I just worked and I worked and I worked. And I started with a shitty little camera, turned it into a nice camera. I had a shitty little mic, turned it into a nice mic. I had a shitty computer. I've had my computer break down on me like 3 times. I've had 2 computers built for me, right? You know, this is who's helped me the whole time. Chris LaBey, first and foremost, my wife. Let me just stop right there, rewind. My wife, Chris LaBey, Josh Wingard. Those are the 3 people that without those people, I would not have this channel. TJ Trainwreck, without him, I would not have my label. I just decided I was going to have a place where people could come buy punk rock. And I just put my fucking nose to the ground and I worked and I worked and I worked and I fucking worked, dude. I work every day. I don't take a day off. I'm going to Punk Rock Bowling to work. I went to LA Punk Invasion to work. I come to the shop to work. I film these videos. It's my job. It's work. Do I love it? Yes. Do I make much money? No. Am I doing okay though? We're doing all right, man. It's just the floor, bro. We're gonna get there. Anybody that gets on here and talks shit to or about me doesn't know me, and that's okay. You and also, even if you do end up knowing me and still don't like me, I don't care, man. You're entitled to your own opinion. My whole point in all this is like, dude, don't ever forget where you came from, man. If you want to do something, you can fucking do it. You can do it. Start putting your feet in front of each other. You got to start walking, man, or else you'll never get anywhere, dude. The biggest like hurdle is like starting. Nobody will ever fail because they don't start shit. People will never fail because they don't start anything. They don't try anything. I've failed so many things in my life. Dude, I lost everything to a flood. Okay, lost my dad at 17, 16. Lost friends all throughout my life. Got on dope for over a decade. Got sober. Thought I was doing good. Met my wife. We had our own problems or whatever. We fixed those. Lose our home to a flood. Rebound. Get a shop. Get a new car. Boom. Lose that to COVID. Rebound. Get a channel. Get another little shop. Bro, it's all about resilience. It's all about persistence. I'm not gonna lose. Not gonna lose, dude. It ain't happening, bro. Like, you don't understand. Like, I don't give a shit what people think about me, man. I know where I'm going. This is why I want to take all the homies with me. If you're the homie, you're coming with me, dude. My community is growing. I love it, dude. I'm so proud of this shit, man. I love all of you. All you motherfuckers are badass, dude. I'm not gonna start naming names because I'll forget some. I love all you guys, man. All my live stream homies, all the people that don't ever hit the live streams, but they're always in the comments talking. All the haters, dude. I love the haters because they give me something to bitch about, talk about, laugh about. I don't really care. Does it bother me some? I'm human. It bothers me some, but not enough for me to really make a big deal out of it. I don't think about it. Anyways, it's been a long journey, man. It's been a long journey, dude. I've lost a lot of shit in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, just don't think it's easy to do this stuff, man. Don't jump into something that you're not prepared to work hard and do. On the flip side of that coin, if you got a dream, you gotta try it, man. You gotta start it. You gotta do something. You can't just not do shit all day. If you want to start a YouTube channel and you got a phone, start the channel. If you want to start selling records, start a Discogs and start selling records. Start from your own collection and start selling some. See how you like doing it. Buy the shipping supplies. The thing is that people don't take into account what it's going to cost to do all this. Dude, even if you just want to sell records, man, how much do you think 100 boxes is? Minimum $125 plus tax and shipping. So what, $150? Then you're going to need a bunch of bubble wrap. That's going to be another, let's say $50. So you're in $200. Tape, another $10. So you're going to be what, $210 just in packing supplies. Then you have to start a Discogs. Then you have to sell something. You have to sell it at a low price because people don't know you yet. You got to start somewhere. Then you have to pack it right, ship it on time, get it to them, start getting some feedback. Then you got to start doing this, get a DBA, get a business license, start hitting up distributors. Hey, I want to buy stuff at wholesale. It's possible to do it. You're not going to make a living doing it, but if it's a hobby, you can make a little extra cash. But, you know, I'm an open book, man. You got some questions for me, hit me up. Don't forget where you came from, man. Take that very first dollar you make, frame that motherfucker, bro. I've got my first, my wristband and my ticket from Punk Rock, LA Punk Invasion. That's the first one for me, dude. That's my first time going somewhere as press. I'm framing that shit. I'm proud of that shit, bro. Call it corny. I'm gonna start crying right now, bro. I've worked so fucking hard. Bro, you can do it. I'm getting like super emotional, dude. I get all ag. I'm always high strung though. I like run on red. I don't operate well when I'm calm. Oh man, I'm hungry now. But yeah, dude. Let's see. This week, today, I'll tell you. Let's see, 60. I made almost 300 today. That's in sales. So I probably made about half that in profit, because some of it was used stuff, some of it was new stuff. So, you know, profit probably, I don't know, 140, 130. It's not bad for an afternoon, you know, it's not great, it's not bad. But I can put money back into the business. I can keep the lights on, I can pay the rent, I can go to Vegas and film all this shit for you guys. How dope is this, bro? How fucking cool is this shit? I got the coolest life out of anybody I know. I don't know anybody else that's got a life cooler than mine. I got an awesome ass wife who I think is pretty fucking hot. I got 3 badass kids, super intelligent. One is goofy as fuck and fun to hang out with. My oldest is really, really intelligent. He's on the spectrum and he's really, really bright. I think he's gonna be, I don't know, dude, he's gonna be something one day, man. My daughter is like the coolest person that I know, right? So I got an amazing family. I got a record store that sells almost all punk rock shit. I got a YouTube channel that does all punk rock shit. And I got a record label that does all punk rock shit, dude. When I was a kid, when I was in, I think, 10th grade, I came into my English class and I walked up to the teacher and I said, hey, look, my name's Randall. I think you know who I am. She's like, your reputation precedes you. And I said, all right, good. So I'm going to sit in the back. I'm going to listen to music. If you leave me alone, I won't cause any trouble. But if you fucking bother me, I'm going to raise all kinds of hell. And she's like, heard. So I show up to class every day. And she's like, you're always on time. That's kind of weird. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really feel like dealing with detention. She comes to me and says, I wish I could remember her name. I'd love to look her up and see if she's still alive. She was a little older back then, so she may not be. She says, if you will take this binder and you'll do one project for the year, I will give you a grade on the year. It won't be an A, but I'll pass you. And I was like, what's the assignment? And she says, I want you to tell me what it is that you want to do with your life, why, and how are you going to get there? If you can do that project for me, she's like, I want pictures, I want written stuff. I need to be able to grade your writing skills. And I need to see if you can put this together for me. It's a 1/2-inch binder. She's like, make it heavy. And she gave me a bunch of those clear plastic sheets in a binder. She's like, I know you don't got the money for go. I don't think she said that. I think she said, I know you're not going to go out and get this yourself. So she handed it to me. Truth be told, we didn't have the money for it. I grew up in a house with 2 families. We were super poor, and my mom and her best friend had to share a room. And I got made fun of all the time. And your mom's a dyke, and your mom is this and that. And I was always fighting and shit, getting in trouble. Dude, my life was look. A million kids had it worse than me, so I shouldn't fucking complain. But it was a tough go, man. You know what I'm saying? Even my people that live with me have more money than we did. It was fucked up. But it's very true. So I did a project, and when I handed it to her, she literally was amazed. I think she gave me like a fucking B score like for the year. She was like, man, tell me about this. And I had went and got tattoo magazines and punk rock magazines. And I said, when I get out of school, man, when I get older, when I grow up, I want to be a tattooer and I want to be in a band. And she's like, this is amazing. I had a real long essay written. I had passion within that stuff, right? My point is that I've had a band. I've recorded music. I worked at a tattoo shop. I'm heavily tattooed. I get to work in punk rock. I did what I wanted to do. It took me 38 years to get here. Almost 40 years to get here, but I'm doing it. Shit's crazy, bro. Crazy. I fucking love you guys. I'm getting out of here, man. Y'all have a good day. If you have any questions, do hit me up. Let me know. I'm an open book. Yeah. If you like black metal, I'm sorry. If you got a problem with me listening to Lil Peep for a little while to try to figure some shit out, go fuck yourself. I don't really care. All right. Everybody else, have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. All right. Peace.